Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, composed by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We heard the short form. I'm not able to hear Maharaj actually. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We were hearing Sindhu Bindu. Sindhu Bindu, the first verse we heard from this book. Today we will hear the second verse. Till now we heard what is pure bhakti, anya abhilashita shunyam, jnana karmadhyanavrtam, anukulena Krishna anushilanam, bhaktir uttama. We heard the details about this verse. Now we will come to second verse. How many times of bhakti is there? So the translation is, so Maharaj actually spoke this in Sanskrit, and he just mentioned that if I can translate this in in Hindi from Sanskrit, but I cannot actually. So Maharaj is still speaking the verse in Sanskrit. It's a very long translation in Sanskrit of second verse of Sindhu Bindu. It is said the pure devotion, Anya Bhilashita Shunyam, it's of three kinds. Which three kinds? Sadhan Bhakti, Bhav Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. Maharaj is saying, listen very carefully. It's very important verse. We will get to know those who perform Uttama Bhakti and their sadhan and sorry, those who perform uttama bhakti and those sadhakas who perform sadhana bhakti, what is the difference? Uttama bhakti is of three kinds. So sadhana bhakti is also two kinds, Vaidhi bhakti and Raganuga bhakti. First, it said Uttama bhakti is of three types: sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti, prema bhakti. And then sadhan bhakti is of two types: Vaidhi and Raganuga. Vaidhi and Raganuga. And if someone cross questions us that Uttama bhakti should only be of two types, it can, which two types? Sadhan bhakti and prem bhakti. Just two should be there, not three. Why bhav bhakti is brought in between these two? It's a detailed point. I think again Maharaj's video is not playing now. Some technical issues there. So here it is said that bhakti is of three types. But this point can come that someone can cross question us that bhakti should only of two types: sadhan bhakti. Why three? And then second point is sadhan bhakti. We we all know what sadhan is. The goal of sadhan is prema bhakti. So why there is bhav bhakti in between, another station in between sadhan bhakti and prema bhakti? Gurudev said, you perform sadhan, you will get prema bhakti, and you will go to Golok Dham and do service of Thakurji there. Gurudev, yes, we understood this. So Vishwanath Chakri Thakur is raising a question here. Bhav bhakti is also like another sadhan bhakti. What is the point of having three bhaktis? Sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prema bhakti. Why this bhav bhakti has come in between sadhan bhakti and prema bhakti? It should have been said that bhav bhakti is connected with prema bhakti, connected with prema bhakti. What is the requirement of accepting bhav bhakti? This doubt is baseless. Uttama bhakti is of three, should be considered of three types. There are some reasons for it. What are those reasons? You perform sadhan, you will get prem, but what's the point of having bhav bhakti in between? And if bhav bhakti is there in between, then you add it with sadhan bhakti or prema bhakti. But Vishwanath Chari Thakur says there are some reasons why this bhav bhakti is added here as another bhakti. First point is, what are the symptoms of a sadhan? What are the symptoms of sadhan bhakti, or a sadhak who performs sadhan bhakti? Sadhan means, though sadhak means in their heart, Shri Krishna in the heart of a sadhak, Rati has come, but still there are some obstacles, anarthas. Sadhak is that person the one who performs sadhan bhakti. What are the symptoms of that sadhak? In his heart, for Bhagavan, some attachment, asakti has manifested. If there is no attachment towards Krishna, then why would he abandon all his friends, family, relatives, social life? Why he would leave eating onion garlic? Why he would stop drinking coffee? That means in his heart of that sadhak, there is some bhav, rati, attachment, asakti that has taken place, birth. But still, obstacles, anarthas have not completely gone away. The obstacles coming in the path of bhakti, problems, they are not getting removed, they are not getting rid of. But simultaneously, Krishna, that sadhak also has desire to take Krishna darshan, so that sadhak has become qualified. He can take darshan of Bhagwan. In his heart, Rati has manifested, but still obstacles have not completely gone away. They are still present, obstacles. That sadhak, that sadhak is called, that sadhak is the one who is performing sadhan bhakti. So from his sadhan, it's clear that in his heart, there is some bhav present for Krishna. Or, or or it can be said that even though bhav bhakti has come in his heart, but still obstacles have not gone away. He has got the bhav, but obstacles have not yet finished. Still obstacles are there, not completely gone yet, the obstacles. That time, even that, so there might be some, um, it's a very big statement here, big, even being at such a high level, that this devotee has, this sadhak has the qualification to take the darshan of Bhagwan. He's at that edge. That sadhak is at that edge. In his heart, he has rati, he has bhav, but still obstacles have not yet gone. Anarth nivriti, which obstacles, if we have committed some offense towards the lotus feet of a Mahapurush, what does it mean? What does it mean? They are of many kinds. Offenses towards Mahapurush, like criticizing a Mahapurush. Oh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had 11 children. Such a Mahapurush, we criticized him saying like this, oh, he had 11 children. So it's this becomes an offense. Or Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, he was not wearing clothes. Shukdev Goswami never wore any clothes. Or Gurudev Prabhupada, for all these acharyas, if we perform a great offense in any birth, for one particular of that offense is still present in our heart. It hasn't gone away yet. Even while by performing sadhan, even by performing sadhan, that particle of that offense is still present in our heart. Unless and until the heart of that sadhak is not completely free from the smell of that offense, even if at that time that offense will still create obstacles in the path of bhakti for that sadhak. If in any birth or in this birth, if we have committed some offense towards any pure Vaishnav, offense means advanced devotees, great advanced devotees, Mahat Vyakti, advanced. At their level, we are talking about. Even Lesh Maharaj is saying, Lesh Maharaj means small, even small offense. That offense can create clash and vign, means obstacles and anxieties. Not that we are facing offenses, sorry, not that we are facing obstacles, but the obstacle can come in future. It hasn't come yet, it can come. In that situation, that sadhak's heart will not get prem bhakti manifested in his heart. Um, it's not possible. It's not possible because of the offense towards the lotus feet of a pure devotee. And because of that, he is facing obstacles and distress. Because prema bhakti, there is no scope of such offenses in prema bhakti. Prem bhakti, there won't be any anxiety or offenses or obstacles in prema bhakti. That's why it is said, unless and until a sadhak bhakt. Oh yeah, so till then there is no scope of prema bhakti manifesting in the heart of that sadhak. That's why bhav bhakti cannot be connected to sadhan bhakti. Uttama bhakti is of three kinds: sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prem bhakti. So why in between bhav bhakti has come? What is the requirement? Directly we should get prem from sadhan bhakti by performing sadhan bhakti. But this has an important role in bhav bhakti. How? This is given, example is given of a sadhak. The symptoms of a sadhak, sadhak's symptoms are he has got bhav in his heart, he has got some qualification to see the darshan of Bhagwan, but still because of his some offense towards a pure devotee, he is facing obstacles and challenges and he is not able to attain prima bhakti. This is a sadhak. Further, they are speaking about sadhya bhakti, those sadhakas who are siddh. So in this verse it is said, those devotees who have prema bhakti, they have become siddh. What are their symptoms? So they are always engaged, premi devotees, prema bhaktas, not sadhak bhaktas. Sarvada Krishna Sambandhi Kriya. They are always engaged in Krishna's sevas, always remembering Krishna, always serving Krishna, always chanting his names, and always doing Krishna's kirtan. And they are not disturbed by any obstacle and challenges. They are called Siddh Bhaktas. Such Siddh Bhaktas never face any obstacles and anxieties. They have no idea what are obstacles. They don't know what kalesh are, what is kalesh is, what is anxiety. This is these are Siddh Bhaktas. So here Maharaj is speaking about the difference between Sadhak Bhakt and Sadhya Bhakt. It's this very simple logic here, which Maharaj just mentioned. Obstacles, challenges will come those who are doing sadhan. Those who have got prem, they will not face any challenges. Now this sadhak has come so close to prema bhakti that next step is just prema bhakti, but still he has some offenses. That's why he has to come come out from the level of prem bhav bhakti and then reach prema bhakti. That sadhak has to come out from the level of bhav bhakti and then reach prema bhakti. This question can be asked here. Then why that bhav bhakti should be considered as sadhan bhakti? As the middle point of Bhav Bhakti, it should be connected to Sadhan Bhakti. Don't make it a separate section. The answer for this is Bhav Bhakti. This cannot be accepted. And Bhav Bhakti is under Sadhan Bhakti. Bhav Bhakti cannot be connected to Sadhak. Why? Why it's not possible? Because this is an important verse Maharaj is saying. We can learn this. Kriti Sadhya. In this verse, Sadhan Bhakti is called as Sadhya Bhav. Means the sadhana of Bhav Bhakti, or that sadhan which gives us Bhav Bhakti, that is called Sadhya Bhav. Let's repeat it again. Let's hear it first. When the fruit of sadhan bhakti is Bhav Bhakti, then how we can say that Bhav Bhakti is under sadhan bhakti? Okay, Maharaj is repeating it now again. Bhakti is of three types. This is now again from the start. Which bhakti? Uttama bhakti. Maharaj is saying, listen carefully, the concept should be clear. Uttama bhakti is of three types: sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti, and prem bhakti. The point here is why bhav bhakti has come in between. Remove it. We don't need this. Sadhan should directly give us prem. Why bhav has come in between? This is the explanation for why bhav bhakti is in between these two, sadhan and prema, because sadhan bhakti, in that sadhak performs lots of endeavors, efforts. Sadhan means to perform efforts. This means he's facing anarthas. He's fighting with his anarthas and offenses. So if he's fighting with his anarthas, means he cannot get prema bhakti. He cannot attain prema bhakti. He is still struggling. This sadhak who is performing sadhan bhakti. Now, when you come to prema bhakti, at prema bhakti, there are no offenses, no obstacles, no challenges. He is just free. Prema bhakti means you are completely free. Now, sadhak, sadhan bhakt is doing facing challenges, and the premi bhakta is completely free. Why in between there is bhav bhakti? It should be removed, or you can add this bhav bhakti to sadhan bhakti. You can connect them, or you can add this bhav bhakti to prema bhakti. Why it is in the middle of these two bhaktis? This is the entire scenario here. Why this is brought in between sadhan bhajan, sadhan bhakti, and prema bhakti? Because bhav bhakti cannot be connected to prema bhakti, because bhav bhakti still, because of some offenses, he is stuck at bhav bhakti. So it cannot be connected to prema bhakti, because prema bhakti has no anarthas, no offenses. He's free. Okay, accept it. Then you add this bhav bhakti to sadhan bhakti, because sadhan bhakti he's struggling with anartha nivritti. He has so many challenges. No, we cannot. We cannot connect these two, sadhan and bhav. Why? Because sadhan bhakti, the fruit, the fruit of sadhan bhakti is bhav bhakti. Unless and until you do not get bhav bhakti, you cannot get prema bhakti. Unless and until we do not get bhav bhakti, how prema can come? That's why sadhan bhakti will take us to bhav bhakti, and bhav bhakti will further take us to prema bhakti. Kriti sadhe bhava sadhe. Prabhuji, can you please share this question? Maharaj wants us to learn this verse. Now, what is sadhan bhakti? Let's hear that. Sadhan bhakti is of two types, Vaidhi bhakti and Raganuga bhakti. Nobody will tell us all these concepts in any Hindu temple, in any temple actually. Bhakti, sadhan bhakti. We're not talking here about bhava bhakti or prema bhakti. When we hear Bhagavatam and or any other scripture, this is asked, this question is asked that which level you're talking about. Sadhan bhakti, you're talking about sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti or prema bhakti. Like for example, few days back I was speaking Hari Katha, and you all must have heard many times. Narad ji asked to Vyas Dev, he gave instructions to Ved Vyas Dev ji. Vyas ji uh, got the association of his Gurudev Narad Muni, and he entered Bhakti Yoga. He performed Bhakti Yoga and he saw all the pastimes of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samya Prati Male Apurusha. This is another verse which Maharaj just spoke about. It's from Bhagavatam. Shri Ved Vyas Dev saw all the pastimes of Bhagavan Shri Krishna while performing Bhakti Yoga, and he saw Maya, illusion, behind Krishna. Now the question is, Naraji's Naraji's technical point is Bhashan. While performing Bhakti Yoga, Vyasdev saw all the pastimes of Bhagavan and he saw Maya behind Krishna. Now to be very specific, which bhakti yoga he saw? Sadhan bhakti, bhav bhakti, or prem bhakti? Everything is not bhakti, and everyone is not doing sadhan bhakti. So, in which bhakti yoga Ved Vyasdev saw the pastimes of Krishna? That's Prem Yoga Bhakti Yoga, because the pastimes of Bhagwan cannot be seen in sadhan bhakti or bhav bhakti. The pastimes of Krishna can only be seen in prema bhakti, when we have prema bhakti. So, sadhan bhakti is of two types, Vaidhi bhakti and Raganuga bhakti. Vaidhi bhakti and Raganuga bhakti. The verse which we heard, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, in that verse, it's mentioned the symptoms of Uttama Bhakti in that verse. Our topic and title is what? Sadhan Bhakti. We are hearing its details. First, we heard Sadhan Bhakti is of two types, Vedi and Raganuga. Now they are explaining what is the meaning of Sadhan Bhakti. We heard the definition of Uttama Bhakti, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Those who follow this verse, this Bhakti, with their senses, their sadhak performs with the senses, they perform this kind of bhakti, then that's called sadhan bhakti. If someone asks you what is sadhan bhakti, please define, then you can speak this verse. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhave sa sadhan vida nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatam hriday sadhyata. We can learn this verse. This means this means when sadhya bhav bhakti, when a sadhak practice to perform sadhan and his goal is to get bhav, then with his senses, whatever sadhan he would do with the purpose that I should get sadhan bhakti, not this goal actually, no, not this goal. Prema bhakti is very far. Bhav bhakti I should get with his senses. He would take darshan of Bhagwan from his eyes. He would hear Harikatha from the ears. He would s- smell prasada from his nostrils. He would honor Mahaprasad. He would do parikrama with his feet. All this is through senses. Focusing on bhav bhakti, whatever sadhana is performed, that's called sadhan bhakti. Goal is bhav bhakti, sadhana is performed with senses, and then it becomes sadhan bhakti. Bhakti is the nitya siddha bhav of living entities. The constitutional right is the constitutional right of living entities is to attain bhav. Bhakti will come in which heart? That heart which is very soft and pure, nirmal and soft. Right now, our heart is very hard. Yeah, sometimes we get nice emotions, but most of the time we are demotivated. While performing sadhan, our heart becomes very soft. I have seen many devotees in the life of many people, those who get up very early in the morning because of their job, their work life, they get up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in their nature. And those people who get up at 8, 9 a.m., even their nature, both the natures are very different. For 20, 30, 40 years, one person who is getting up morning, going for job or going for business, his nature, and that person who gets up at 8, 9 a.m. and then he goes to office at 12 noon, his nature would be very different from the other person. The difference would be of modes of material nature, gunas. uh, his heart, both the hearts of these people will be very different. While performing sadhan, the heart becomes soft and pure. Nirmal means soft, and komal also means soft, because with sadhan the heart is getting burnt. When we perform sadhan by our senses. Let's understand this point. Sadhan is performed by whom? Senses. You have your chanting beads in your hand and you're doing sadhan. You are hearing Harikatha with your ears. With, with your tongue, you will honor Prasad and chant Harinam, and you will do obeisances with your body, offer obeisances. So it's very essential to keep your body healthy. This is for those people who become fanatic in emotions. I will not eat for 2 days, or for 10 days I would only drink milk. I have seen many big renunciates. In 40 years I have seen many renunciates. They I will only drink milk, I would only eat this much, that much. Initially it's all good, but gradually the body, when the body is down, health goes down, health becomes very, then we have two lost. One is expenditure on medicine. Second is we would need one assistant, one servant, one sevak. So now we have to take service, and we would not be able to give service, but we would need to take service from others. That's why Prabhupada said, how much your body requires, you supply your body, because your sadhan would be only performed with your body. When we go to any store or shop, we give some bonus to our servants, or we make our servant happy, because the owner doesn't have any attachment to his servant. The servant performs good job, so he is taken good care of, the servant. This body is our servant, not our owner. So we keep it healthy because we need to get the task done. We need to get the job done. This is the only limit. We need this body to perform sadhan. So with our senses, we perform sadhan, and the goal is bhav bhakti. The nature, the nature is bhav bhakti is nitya siddh. It cannot be it cannot be attained by any sadhan. Then what's the need of sadhan? Why we should do sadhan then if we cannot attain it by doing sadhan? This is a very contradictory point here, that bhav bhakti cannot be performed by with performing sadhan. Then you should abandon all your sadhans, just do hari bol hari krishna. Okay, you bring some pakoras, some samosas. I don't need to do any sadhan. Maharaj was saying, it's written in in Sindhu Bindu, that bhav bhakti is nitya siddh. By the mercy of Bhagwan, bhav bhakti comes in our heart. So whenever we get mercy, we will get bhav bhakti. Let me go and travel somewhere. Why I didn't need to do sadhan? Because bhav bhakti is not attained with your sadhan. By the mercy of Bhagwan, that bhav bhakti would manifest in our heart. Prem will come in our heart, not by our sadhan, because it's nitya siddh. Bhav bhakti is nitya siddh. It means that you cannot make it siddh. It's by nature, by default, is nitya siddh. Bhav bhakti. Bhav. Its nature is it's eternally perfect. Nitya siddh, eternally perfect. You did not make it perfect. You with your senses, you can purify your senses to to hold that bhav bhakti. We performed a sadhan not to attain bhav bhakti, but to enhance, increase, advance our qualification. We we want to become so strong, so that that bhav can fall in our heart. It can come in our heart, and our heart can capture it. Like Gurudev used to give this example: the milk of a lioness, female lion. Her milk is so warm in nature that if you take it in any iron container, it will make a hole in it. It will start dripping from that iron container. And if to carry that milk you need golden container, gold container, then it will not drip, because that gold container has those qualifications. That qualification, it can hold it. This is the point here, is Kriti Sadhya, which that Nitya Siddha Bhav, which is eternally liberated, is perfect. That Bhav to come in our heart means we have to do sadhan bhakti. This means that a living entity which is very small, Anu, Chitkan, very small. That Chitkan Swarup Jiva, living entity by nature, even though that living entity is conditioned by Maya, right now our situation is we are Maya Bad. We are conditioned by Maya. We are controlled by Maya illusion. That we are eternally part and parcel of Krishna, but we are controlled by Maya right now. And because of this, we are not able to taste Krishna's Anand Kand. We are not able to realize that I'm Krishna's servant, because we have become so conditioned, and their bhav has become unmanifested. Now that Nitya Sabhav, Nitya nature, eternal nature, Anand Kand means the Swarup of Krishna is Anand, that is Nitya Siddha Bhav. To get that bhav in our heart is our only goal. That's why we have got this body. Actually, in reality, we have this human body because we need to capture that bhav. in our heart. This is a very philosophical and technical point. Sadhan bhakti and bhav bhakti. In sadhan bhakti, the sadhak tries a lot. He performs sadhan. Why he makes so many efforts? I want bhav bhakti. My obstacles should be removed. So with his senses, he tries to burn his senses by performing sadhan, means purifying his senses. So that our senses can get the qualification, so that those senses can attain or capture bhav bhakti and grab bhav bhakti. Actually, Maharaj is saying we need to perform sadhan so that our senses can become qualified to to attain, grab bhav bhakti. But we are so conditioned, so Maya birth, that Maya has captured us, grabbed us. We are not doing sadhan to get bhav bhakti. We are doing sadhan to make our senses qualified, so that our senses can attain bhav bhakti. We are not able to taste the anand of Krishna prem. We are doing sadhan, but we are not getting any happiness, any anand we are not getting. And on the other side, we are saying that we are Krishna's eternal part and parcel. Krishna is Anand Swarup. We should also um, experience Anand. We are doing very nice sadhan, but we are not feeling any Anand or happiness because we are so conditioned. We see everything as Mayic, connected to Maya. Those things which are connected to Maya, they are called as Mayic. If we have to understand anything, we will we will be so conditioned by Maya when we have to analyze anything. So what we should do, we keep on doing sadhan, keep on doing sadhan, keep on doing sadhan. And with that sadhan, his heart in his heart bhav bhakti would manifest. Example, let me give you a very nice example. I was thinking of an example. On a tree there is a beehive of honeybees. There's honey there, honey is there on that tree, and down is one person is standing, Bhola Prabhu. One person, his name is Bholanath. He wants honey. But how he would get honey? The sadhak is down, standing down, and honey is on the tree, bhav. So he picked up a stone. He first looked for a stone here and there, left, right. He's looking for a stone. And he's doing, this is called sadhan, looking for a stone. This is called sadhan, making efforts. Then he thought, let me get on the tree. So he tried as well. He tried to get on the tree with his hands, with his legs. He went on the tree, and then he slipped and he fell. Again he tried. Again he fell. His goal is not to go on top of the tree. His goal is to capture, to grasp that honey which is on the tree. So what he did, he found a stone and he hit that beehive on the tree. Now tell me that honey has gone from top to bottom or from bottom to down. It was already there. He did not make honey. With his sadhan, he tried to get on the tree, he tried to find a stone. He did not manufacture honey. It was already present there. He just tried to make efforts to capture that honey. He threw the stone on the beehive and the honey dripped. It fell and he tasted honey. and he said it's very tasty. But when he was tasting honey, what happened? Obstacles came. Which obstacles came? Those bees came on him, honey bees, and they bit him. He's not able to taste the honey. He became conditioned by illusion. He became conditioned by honeybees. He's not able to taste Anand because he forgot there is some covering. I would have worn some coat, and all these obstacles in the form of honeybees, they would not have given me any trouble. All these anarthas in the form of honeybees, they are troubling me. He is completely matured. He knows how to get the honey, but he became conditioned. He forgot. That's why the sadhak, he's matured. He understands. And with his sadhan, he's not making or manufacturing honey. Bhav Bhakti is present there. Honey is present there. He just needs to grab it. That Anand in the form of honey. So he's trying to make himself qualified. He's trying to make his senses qualified so that he can taste that honey, which is Anand, which is happiness. And for that, he needs to wear the coat of, so that the honeybees cannot bite me. This is a nice, big, thick coat. That coat is sadhan bhakti. That coat is sadhan bhakti. So from this example, you can understand, it's a technical point. This is called sadhan bhakti. Unless and until with our senses, um, we are performing sadhan. Let's understand what is sadhan. What is sadhan? I am standing on the ground floor. I want to go on the first floor. I have three options. I can take the stairs. Someone can give me a rope from the top, and I can take that rope and get on. And simplest process is I can take the lift. I can press the button of the elevator, and the elevator would take me on first floor. This is called sadhak. And to reach from one level to another level, this is called sadhan. From one floor to another floor, this is called sadhan. By the mercy of Bhagwan and devotees, one can. Okay, we will hear this tomorrow, because this topic which has just come now. It cannot be finished in 5 minutes. For this, we need proper 1 hour, and I will think of some examples as well. Okay, today we will end it here. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.